The Mini now has a Barbarian King. Question is, can you get him in 1 2-hour boost? Let's find out. Hey guys, spent $23 here. So who wants a Barbarian King? Well, I know I do, on my Town Hall 7 Mini. So today we're going to be racing against the clock to prove that it is possible to get the 2-hour Barbarian King. Now, when I first started out raiding for him, I was told it would take about a day. I knew I didn't have a day, and I wasn't recording it. But rather than just expect you guys to believe that it's possible, I've stopped, I've let my boost run out, and we're going to use a new boost as the timer to see if we can raid the rest of the loot in the time that is required. Now we need to raid 2,780 Dark Elixir. If you do the calculation, that means if we do that in exactly 33 minutes, that would be the 10,000 needed to buy the Barbarian King in exactly 2 hours. Now, I'm not going to cut any of this out, but I will speed some of it up, and we're going to be against the clock here to see if we can't finish off the Barb King in the 33 minutes required to have done it in 2 hours. Why is 2 hours so important? Well, because that is how long your boost will last on your barracks and your spell factory. Pretty much anyone can come up with 50 gems to do that. Perhaps your gem box, dig up a few mushrooms, and at least that way you can do it all in one go, and you won't get anybody sending you backwards, taking your Dark Elixir, and meaning that it drags on for days and days and days. I've come up with 7 rules. Rules for success are doing this in 2 hours. Rule number 1 is take all Town Hall snipes. If you don't take enough Town Hall snipes, you will fall out of the loot band, or in other words, you'll drop too many trophies, and at some point you'll have to start raiding for trophies to get back to where the loot is. That's going to cost you a lot of time. Your gem boost is going to be running out all of the time, so every single Town Hall snipe that you see, you need to take that village and take those cups. It takes about 4 snipes just to cover up for 1 loss, so do it over and over again and constantly. What you definitely don't want to have to do at some point is to have to start chasing trophies to get back up somewhere where the loot might be. That's going to waste your time, and remember, you've only got 2 hours to do this. And rule number 2 is constantly top up. You don't want your barracks to be running dry or wasting any of your boost, so always be looking in there and filling them up right to the top so that they don't run out whilst you're out spinning or raiding. And rule number 3, don't wait. I think this is the most important rule. Don't wait for your camps to get full. Don't sit around in clan chat or staring at your base. Spin with half a camp. That really doesn't matter because it's going to allow you to take the Town Hall snipes that you need, and sometimes you will get lucky and you'll be given a village which you can get with just your half camps. Now, other times you're going to get extremely frustrated because you'll think to yourself, if only I had full camps, I could have taken that. Rule number 4, don't worry. Don't think about the loot that got away, otherwise you're going to wait for your camps to fill every time. Think of it this way, if you'd have waited for your camps to be full, you would have never found this particular village. In any case, you would have been given something else, so it's not lost loot. All you are doing is increasing your chances of being given more offers. So then you'll be rewarded, such as I was here. Even though I couldn't get that other one, I'm then given this lovely base with lots of juicy Dark Elixir, and the guy's kindly upgrading 3 of his mortars. Now, I don't think my camps are quite full, but I definitely can reach that Dark Elixir with mostly full camps, and that's precisely what I did, thinking I'm a very lucky guy today. Here comes my goblins. Once they're into that central section, I've got all this juicy dark loot, and as luck would have it, we get a whole bunch of gold and normal elixir too. But we don't hang around. As soon as this raid is over, it's straight back to the home village, top up all of our barracks, and we don't mess around with any fancy troop combinations because we're never raiding with the same troops anyway, because most of the time it's not with full camps. So it's 1 barracks constantly pumping out goblins, 1 pumping out giants, and 2 pumping out archers. Now you need to throw in 3 wall breakers randomly. You always want to try and keep 3 in stock for when you come upon that really juicy loot. And if you need to throw in any barbs just to make sure that barracks is always producing, then you can do that. They're just about as useful. Which brings us on to rule number 5. If you're out there spinning and you are not getting any offers for a while, because we're spinning with half camps, come home every 10 or so spins to collect all the troops that your barracks have been pumping out. That way, you're not going to be attacking with half camps unless you really need to. And rule number 6, don't waste troops. You just saw a village there with a whole load of juicy loot inside. It's so tempting to go for it, but you're probably going to fail. It's going to cost you about 3 or 4 minutes of your time trying to raid it and trying to replace the loot. Much better to carry on spinning, find yourself a little bit easier one. This one had 250, I was about to attack, I changed my mind. It's probably one I should have taken, but again, don't worry, just keep spinning, and then you will be rewarded with one a little bit easier, slightly less loot in this, but I can guarantee to not only get the loot, but I can also get the town hall. So that's a double bonus, and we're not going to be losing any trophies. So as long as you've been sticking to the rules, it really doesn't matter how long the rest of this raid takes you to get to the town hall, because your barracks are nicely topped up and are constantly producing troops for you, so that when you get back, you are ready to spin almost immediately and go out and either take a town hall snipe if it hasn't produced that many troops, or go straight in for another raid and get your hands on that shiny Dark Elixir. And let's take a look at our clock, see how we are doing. Are we on for a 2-hour Barb King? So we've used 12 minutes only, and we only need just over 1500 Dark to finish off our king. So we are on schedule, but as you guys will probably know, you can go through huge long patches where you are offered absolutely nothing, so a good start doesn't actually guarantee you're going to make it. So at this point, guys, I should probably explain why the screen keeps going dark. Well, I put a dark filter over the spin sections because I didn't want anyone with epilepsy having a fit. Plus, it's extremely annoying. When I was sat watching this back, my eyes were going crazy. So I filtered out the very flashy white bits. Now, some of these raids I definitely did fail. They weren't all successful. I think in a minute you're about to see a balloon coming out. Oh, balloon defenders, how awful are they? It was a low camp raid. I had barely any troops, and the balloons came out and completely wrecked me. I should also mention that at no point in any of these raids did I lightning any Dark Elixir, not deliberately. If there is splash damage next to the Dark, this one, it maybe touched it, I'm not entirely sure, probably got about 50 off that, but I was trying to get the Wizard Tower. I don't lightning Dark Elixir, and I have to say, credit to everybody else, nobody has put lightning on mine in about 20 or so raids, so fair play to you guys. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to do, but yeah, it's one of those things that I think we've all decided you probably shouldn't do it, since nobody has any possible defense against the lightning on the Dark Elixir attack. Unless, of course, a future update brings us a lightning conductor. Now, by this point, your eyes are probably going square, you're probably feeling absolutely exhausted, flicking through all of these different villages, but that brings us directly to rule number 7. Just don't give up. Remember, it's just 2 hours you need to do this, 2 hours to get your Barbarian King. Just keep going, and if you go through dry patches, just keep spinning and spinning, go back to your village, top up and spin again. So look at this, we are so close now, 9,587. So I've got to get through to this Dark Elixir storage. Now what I normally like to do is I like to get goblins and archers on the job. That means if a mortar manages to hit one, because they're in different positions, then it definitely won't get the other. So if it takes out the goblins, well, the archers will follow it behind and take down the rest of the dark storage. There it is, racking up. How much are we going to get? We're going to get it all, I think. We left him with 20. You're welcome to your 20. We're in a rush, guys. So 9,808. What's the time? 1 hour 27. We have used 31 minutes. We've got 2 minutes to go. If we manage to get the 10,000 in 2 minutes, then that would be a 2-hour Barbarian King. Which means we've got to do it, I think, in one raid. There will not be time to do 2 raids. So let's find a village with over 200 in it. Few spins, keep going, top up the camps. And there we found it, 229. And look, it looks pretty easy to get to. The dark storage is right on the edge. This guy looks like he's more concerned with his gold than his Dark Elixir, so we can get straight to the drill, straight to the dark. And I happen to have wall breakers cooked, Try and keep them in stock as much as you can, and we're straight onto the Dark Elixir. Unfortunately, my trophy instincts get the better of me. I completely forget that we're against the clock here trying to check something out, and I've decided I can get to this town hall. So at this point, I start dumping archers down to make sure that we can take the second star. Well, actually, this would be the first star. We're not going to get the second star. I race towards the town hall, and then suddenly it dawns on me, we're not chasing trophies. We need to get back, and we need to buy our Barbarian King, and we're against the clock. So just as I'm taking down the town hall, I surrender, and here we go back to the village. Where is this Barbarian King? Not bought one of these in what must be 3 years now. Here he is. Let's stick him down in the village, and we'll get straight over to the barracks, check how much boost is left, which tells us how much time we've used. 1 hour 25 left. How much time? 33 minutes, which means if you work that out, we would have achieved the Barbarian King in exactly 2 hours under the boost of the barracks and the spell factory. Let's have a look at the loot stats. That's what we started with, so we're in profit. That's not cost us anything despite constantly pumping out the giants. So now we have a Barbarian King level 1 in the mini. How do you feel about being in Spencer $23 base, Barbarian King?
Awesome!
I hope that has inspired all of my Town Hall 7 friends to raid for their Barbarian King in under 2 hours. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and until the next time,
Send everyone!